We are fucking elite, and nothing can ever touch us. We are elite.
The metal version.
I just found the fucking intro of the video about doing that shit. We are fucking elite, and nothing can ever touch us. Hey, what's up, guys? We are back.
Yep.
And we got a few things to talk about.
Yep.
Not a lot. Just a little something to get it out of the way. Football season's getting close.
Yep.
In fact, the NFL preseason is going on right now.
Yes.
You guys have played 2 games so far, I think.
Yeah, we played Patriots preseason week 1, and then the Jets week 2.
Didn't even score a touchdown in that Jets game and won the game.
Yeah, we still won the game. It's the Jets.
Lost your rookie running back in the first game.
Yeah, Darius Guys, he's out.
He was looking to be a big time player for the season.
Yeah.
And he's out for the year as an ACL tear. So that's rough. First preseason game of the guy's career, and he goes down with an ACL tear. Out for the year. That sucks.
Yeah, he was supposed to really enhance our running game. Like, we still have the same... Pretty much just taking him out, we have the same exact running core from last year. It's just he was supposed to, like, take the running
Bring
game.
some... like
take it to another
fresh
level.
Face and extra energy into it.
Take it to another level.
We've played 1 game so far. We play a game. We play the Ravens Sunday night, but we played our first game against Seattle. I only watched the injury while Luck was in. His first in-game passes in almost 2 full years. He went for 6 for 9. Threw for 64 yards. He looked good. He took a sack and got right back up. So it's always a good sign to see, especially with all the injuries he had piled up on him from having admittedly a pretty shitty offensive line for the first few years of his career. Our O-line looks a little better now. Wish the defense could look better, but I think we have the pieces in place in the front office to make those changes and make that defense a little better. Yeah. So that's preseason. I don't follow anyone else during the preseason except for the Skins, and I follow the Skins very, very loosely. So, if I see their score, I'll look at the stats. If I don't see the score, I don't ever think about it. But so that's really all to talk about for the preseason. Because we don't follow any other teams in the preseason. This is my first year watching the NFL since the 2016 season. I didn't watch last year. Among reasons, I just don't. The political side of it, I wasn't interested in, so I just stopped watching it. Coming back to watch it this year. Hopefully that shit gets changed. If it happens again, I'll just stop watching because I don't come to watch. I'm watching football. I'm not watching CNN or Fox News or whatever the fuck, wherever you want to get your political news from. But speaking of the NFL, a former NFL player, didn't really do much in the NFL, but he was in the NFL for a little bit. Johnny Football, Johnny Hosman, Johnny Manziel, made his CFL debut a few weeks back against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Doesn't look that great. He was he went 11 for 20 for 104 yards. That's not a bad stat line until you look at the fact that he threw 4 interceptions. And you watch the, and I'll have the highlights playing while we're talking about this. But 2 of the picks he threw weren't his fault necessarily, but the other 2 definitely were his fault. I think it was the first pick he threw and the last pick he threw weren't necessarily his fault, if I remember correctly. And then the second and third ones he threw were definitely his fault. And then the second game against the Ottawa Red Blacks, he went 16 for 21 for 168 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. So that's not too bad. I think they lost that game, though. I don't remember. Sure. And now he's out with concussion protocol. He's going through all the testing for concussions and stuff like that. So he was supposed to play his 3rd game earlier this week, I think, or maybe last week. Did not do that because, like I said, he's under concussion protocol. I haven't heard anything about that. But yeah, Johnny Manziel's back, playing in the CFL. He played in the Spring League this spring, and I don't know how he did in that.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
He's trying to make his way back to the NFL. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe even go to the XFL when that comes around. There's only a year left. 2 years. 2 years left waiting on that. So he may go to the XFL. Never know if the NFL doesn't work out for him again. But we will see about all that. That's all there is to Johnny Football. He's back, making his rounds, trying to get back to the NFL. This will be like I said, this will be a really short one because we're moving on to college football. And so we looked at the ESPN, like the coaches rankings earlier, and I don't think I'm going to do like a direct comparison like I thought I was going to. There's some differences. There's nothing like too drastic. We had a few teams that we had in our top 25 that didn't make the cut on the coaches poll.
Yeah. And
then there were a few teams that were jumbled here and there, but for the most part, ours matched up pretty closely to the coaches poll. AP poll is not out yet, of course. That's about it. TCU.
Yeah, they're like...
We play Southern first game of the year, and then we play SMU.
And Ohio State.
And then in our last non-conference game before we get into conference play, we play Ohio State. And I don't remember if that was a home game or a road game.
Yeah, same.
But we got to play Ohio State third game of the year, so that'll be a big test as we head into conference play. The way the Ohio State program is looking right now, I think we have a good chance of winning that game.
Yeah. They're actually supposed to make the decision tomorrow whether or not what's going to happen. It's looking more like a suspension at this point than a firing.
Might make a quick video once that ruling comes out explaining, what does happen. Because as of right now, we don't know anything. Yeah. By the time this video goes up, there's a good chance it'll be out by then. But we'll try to get a video up to explain some things. If there is anything that needs to be explained, there may not be. It may be a simple, he's suspended for 2 games. Yeah. And I'm sure you already know the story on why Urban Meyer is undergoing all this scrutiny. It's been all over the place. And if you haven't seen it, then...
You've been living under a rock.
Yeah, you've been living under a rock. So you said you had some things to talk about for Tennessee football.
Yeah.
And we are 2 weeks away from Tennessee's season kicking off. 1 week away from college football getting underway.
Yeah.
I don't remember who that first game is.
It's like, there's a few games. There's
always a Mountain West game.
Yeah, it's like San Jose State and somebody.
Yeah.
There's like a few games going on, just 4 or 5 games.
So we're a week away from college football getting underway, but we are 2 weeks away from UT football, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we're big UT fans.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you could have missed that through all of our videos and talking about it, and I guess you just watch videos on mute. Yeah, we're big UT fans, and Tony said he had something to say about Tennessee football, so
yeah,
we'll let him take the floor.
Pretty much what I want to talk about is I really think this team, honestly the perspective from the national media who's saying that Tennessee is going to go 4-8, 5-7, and 6-6 at Lucky. I really think they're just focusing on the fact that they're just so bad last year that it's they were really bad last year, so they're going to struggle this year. I really think this team can honestly win 6 or 7 games. I really think this team can honestly have a good shot to go to a bowl game.
Well, I think the thing last year, most of our issues came from we had 2 different quarterbacks. Or McBride didn't start a game, did he?
Yeah, he started one game, but that was only because JG was injured.
We had 3 starting quarterbacks who didn't have much playing time.
Yeah.
Dormady had a little bit of playing time. JG had no playing time, and I don't think McBride had any playing time either. So we had 1 quarterback with in-game experience coming into the year, and he ended up not even starting most of the season.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Garantano finished the year with the most starts between the 2, and now Dormady is completely gone from the program. He's transferred out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you look at that, we have a graduate transfer in Keller Christ coming from Stanford, 5th-year senior.
Yeah.
So
and that race
he's got some experience. Yeah. The race looks like it's coming down the wire from what Coach Pruitt has said. It's going to come down to could be a game day decision on who gets to start, Jarrett Garantano or Keller Christ between those 2.
Which
could be interesting, but at the same time, we have a much better coaching staff. Last year, the coaching staff was awful.
Yep.
And the coach got fired with 3 games left in the year. It's a different story this time around. I'm not saying that we're going to be world beaters. We're not going to win 9-10 games, but I think 7 wins is very realistic.
Yeah.
7
wins is a realistic.
We've moved a lot of the pieces we have on defense to better positions. We moved wide receiver Tyler Bird back to his natural position of defensive back, which is where he should have been in the first place. He was good for us at receiver, but we have so much depth at receiver that we didn't need him at receiver when all of our problems were in the secondary.
Yeah.
That's where he naturally plays at. So I don't understand the decision with that. Even when they initially made that decision last year, I didn't understand that. We had so much depth at receiver.
Because you look at receiver, it's you got Jawan Jennings, Brandon Johnson. Who the fuck else? Really, like sometimes I forget.
I've been really far behind on our receiving core ever since. Like whenever I think of our receivers, I still think of Jason Kroom, Josh Smith, all those guys, and it's hard for me to remember names.
Well, then me and you after the South Carolina game, we pretty much gave up on the season last year.
Yeah.
So
I stopped watching games after the last game I actually watched on TV was the Florida game last year, and then I started listening to the games, and then I stopped listening after the UMass game. So like. Every game after the UMass game, I didn't even know anything about until I checked the scores. Plus, TCU was having a really good year that year, and we were, possibly going to make the Big 12 championship game, which we didn't. So I was paying a lot more attention to that. But yeah, on defense, we moved some guys around, moved Kongbo from the defensive line back to linebacker, which is, again, where he should have been the entire time. His body, his play style, everything like that fits linebacker a lot more than defensive tackle.
Plus, we are moving to 3-4 from the 4-3 to a 3-4, so we do need a lot more linebackers on the field.
Yep. And if you've watched Last Chance U Season 3, which you have not, I don't think you've watched any of Last Chance U.
I'm about to start watching Last Chance.
Well, if you watched Last Chance U Season 3, you should know by now if you finished it. If not, spoiler alerts. But if you follow UT recruiting, you'll know this anyway. Emmett Gooden from Season 3 at Independence Community College. He committed to Tennessee at the end of that season, and he's also on our defensive line. He's a really good player. If you watch the show, you'll know that he had some issues with personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct, stuff like that. Just making bad decisions after the play. But as the season progressed in Season 3 of Last Chance U, he got away from that a little bit. Seemed like he matured a little bit on the field as far as making those mistakes. But he's a really good player. He made a lot of great plays. He was, I think he was the 17th ranked JUCO prospect in the country. Yeah. So he's a really good player. He just got to fix some of those mistakes he makes with personal fouls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only recruit that I actually know a lot about. And that's only because I watched his entire last year at his JUCO on television program. So like everybody else I don't know much about, but I know we do have a good recruiting class coming in. You looked at Rivals earlier.
Yeah.
And I think you said we were 8th.
Yeah, we're currently 8th in the nation.
8th in the nation in recruiting according to Rivals. We didn't look at 24/7 or anything like that, but Rivals is usually who I listen to when it comes to recruiting classes and stuff like that.
For the most part, they have the best knowledge of recruiting.
Could close things out with what we're doing tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
SummerSlam tomorrow. So a little bit of professional wrestling talk.
Yep.
God, I think you know the card more than I do at this point. I barely even watch every week anymore. I know we've got main events. We're going to be Lesnar, Reigns, Universal Championship.
Yeah. For like the 5th time.
Yeah. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe for the WWE title. We've got Ziggler versus Rollins for the IC title. Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. Yeah. Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show. Raw Tag Team titles, B Team versus the Revival. The SmackDown Tag Team titles, and I forgot this match was even happening until like a few hours ago. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day, and a match that I don't really give a shit about.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that match.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, I don't like the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't like the New Day either.
The Bludgeon Brothers have just gotten so stale.
Yeah. Plus, they fight like
nobodies.
They like
every week they're facing random fucking people.
Yeah. Like people. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. And the only other match I can think of is the Baron Corbin Finn Balor match for the third time. They had a match at Extreme Rules last month. Corbin won. And then I think it was even like the next night they had a rematch, and Balor won that one. So this is the rubber match.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I see Balor taking that one.
I can see Balor.
Let's pull a card up, and we'll make some predictions to end this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 1 second here. SummerSlam 2018. Look at the match card.
Okay, let's see here. What we got? Here's the match card.
Okay, you gotta pull it faster than I did.
I got 13. Yep.
13 matches.
Okay, let's see number.
Let's start with B Team versus the Revival.
The
The B Team are on a bit of a win streak.
Yeah, I got B Team in this.
They defeated the, I don't even know what the fuck they're calling themselves, the Leaders of Worlds or some shit.
Like that.
Bray Wyatt and Matt
Leader
Hardy.
of World. Yeah.
I've got B Team as well. I think it's too early for their tag team championship reign to end like that.
Yeah.
We got next Rusev and Lana versus Andrade, Cien, Almas, and Zelina Vega. I forgot this match was happening simply because
it's just a random mixed tag team match. It's
so Zelina beat Lana in the match they had on SmackDown a few weeks ago, and Aiden English interrupted in that one and cost Lana the match. I kind of see it going the same way. Maybe even Aiden just completely turning on Rusev and Lana in this one. So I've got Andrade and Zelina in that one, but I'm not invested that much.
Yeah. I'm pretty much the same with you.
Yeah.
Then we got
Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I have The Miz taking this one. And I say that because I think they're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania. Long build-up for this. It was like 2 years worth of build-up for this match.
I want to go Daniel, but yeah, Miz.
It's really a toss-up because there's they could go a lot of ways with that one.
Yeah.
Balor Corbin, we both just said Balor.
Got Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy.
I'm going to say Shinsuke because Randy Orton's 100% interrupting. He's going to run in on this match and cost Hardy the match. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. I'm going with Drew Gulak. I've wanted him to win the Cruiserweight Championship since WrestleMania, since they did that Cruiserweight Championship tournament leading into WrestleMania. So I've wanted Gulak to win it since then. I want him to win it now, and I think he will.
Yeah. All right, it's just good.
Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte.
Triple threat.
I'm going to go with Carmella because I think Becky and Charlotte are going to fuck things up for each other. That's what I think.
I don't know. I don't really see Carmella.
Carmella's had a very terrible reign as SmackDown Women's Champion ever since.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to go with Carmella. I'll go with Charlotte. I think, she was champion for so long, and then they just, randomly, out of nowhere, she lost it.
Yeah. And then she was off TV for, 2 months after that, too.
Anyway, I'm going to go with Charlotte.
Dolph versus Rollins. Of course, Dolph has Drew McIntyre in his corner, and Rollins has the returning Dean Ambrose.
The Lunatic.
I am going with Ziggler because Ambrose will turn heel and turn on Rollins.
Yep.
And cost Rollins the match.
Which will piss me off.
It'll happen, though.
Yep. All right, next.
Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. If Braun Strowman loses in any way, he loses the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm going with Kevin Owens. I don't know how the finish will go down, but it won't be a clean win or a clean submission. Obviously, he's not going to make Braun tap out. But Kevin's going to find a way to get a disqualification or get a count out or something crazy. Because Braun's run with the Money in the Bank briefcase has been really weird. I don't think he should have won that match in the first place. He didn't need it.
Yeah, I'll go with Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, then we got this stupid match.
Bludgeon Brothers and New Day. It doesn't even really matter. I want the New Day to take the belts off the Bludgeon Brothers, but it's a toss-up. I'll just say New Day.
Yeah, same. AJ Styles versus Samoa.
Gosh,
I'm gonna say AJ. AJ retains. I say it. I'm just gonna say it right now. AJ retains.
I'm gonna say AJ as well, and I think the reason I'm gonna say it is because I think they're gonna keep the belt on him until the video game comes out.
Yeah.
Which is in October, which means Hell in a Cell, Samoa Joe and AJ are gonna have a rematch, and Samoa Joe will take the belt at Hell in a Cell. Mark my words.
Getting towards the
Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. I've got Ronda.
As much as I hate...
It's how the build-up's been the entire time,
yeah.
Seems like, since Extreme Rules.
As much as I hate to say it, yeah. Even though...
Yeah, Ronda's going to take it. It's a big four event. You know, they got to draw the star power somehow. And then the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and I have a very interesting way of going about how Roman will win this match, and it will be somehow, in some way, I've worked this out in my head, that Heyman is going to turn on Lesnar because, as you saw,
on 2 weeks
Lesnar beat the... Well, he didn't really beat the shit out of him, but he did some damage to Heyman on Raw a few weeks ago. Heyman's going to turn on Lesnar, side with Reigns, and help Reigns win the match in some way. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Another match that... Or I'll let you give your prediction real quick before I get to that. It's a tough one, really.
You know what?
Because I've said every pay-per-view since Lesnar won the belt that he was going to lose it at this show.
No.
Like last SummerSlam, thought he was going to lose it then.
WrestleMania this past year,
Definitely thought he was going to lose it.
and he literally killed Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm going to say Brock wins.
I wouldn't even be
Because I'm
surprised.
not going to be surprised if it happens either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's another match that might happen. I'm sure it'll happen, actually. Elias is supposed to do like a concert in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Lashley's going to run in on it. They're going to do an impromptu match, and Lashley will beat Elias. That's how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's how it'll happen. But I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
SummerSlam's tomorrow, so...
And we're going to have a get-together.
Yeah.
Not a party.
TakeOver Brooklyn 4 happened earlier tonight. I'm not going to spoil anything because it got spoiled for me. Some of the matches got spoiled for me, but we just finished watching the main event not too long ago, and it was fantastic. It was a great match. So if you haven't watched TakeOver Brooklyn 4, you need to watch it. I also need to explain this shirt because he pointed it out to me before we started recording that the shirt says The Elite. It has nothing to do with the show. If you follow wrestling outside of the WWE, there's a good chance you know what this shirt is. I'm not going to explain it. But anyway, that's all we got. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week. I think we're going to have an early show. The show might be up on Saturday. It might just come up on Sunday anyway. It depends how my schedule looks. But we will be recording it early.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we got.
So far, yeah.
That's it. All right.
All right.
We'll be back next week. And I don't know. I don't have a catchphrase.
Stay elite.
Yeah, stay elite. Go with that. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
She think she dancing on my dick, but that's my Glock. Take my wallet out my ass and run around and watch them flop. To the kid with a tattoo and a flat